Welcome to the TV and Variety Podcast with your host, Tyler Hannigan. We will cover a wide range of topics from sports to disabilities. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TV and Variety Podcast. I am here with a returning guest, Sam Malik. How are you today, Sam?
I'm well for a Wednesday. Thank you for asking.
That's good to hear. So today we're going to recap a little bit what we talked about the last time. So if you remember our last episode, we talked about, some of the restaurants we went to and we talked about how to help people with disabilities. So we're going to touch more on that today. I'm going to start with so we're going to touch back with the favorite restaurants. So we went to some interesting restaurants.
Yeah, we went to Raising Cane. We went to McDonald's. We even did some Chinese. I think we did Lion's Choice. One of the things that you tried, if I remember, was Costco's pizza.
Yes, the Costco pizza was really good. But it took some time for me to try it, some convincing, and then when I finally tried it, it was good. Also, another thing we touched on was Raising Cane's. Now, the cane sauce, it took a while for me to try that, but when I finally tried it, it was really good. So ever since then, I've liked cane sauce.
Well, and what you don't understand about young men and ladies with anybody with autism is they get in a pattern and they don't want to break that pattern and they're afraid of that pattern. And by the grace of God, because of my cerebral palsy that I have, I've learned to adapt and modify. So I would prompt him almost every time we go to Raising Cane, are you sure you don't want to try it? And I think one day he threw me for a loop and dipped a little bit of chicken in the Raising Cane sauce. And then now he's addicted, I think.
Yes, I am. I'm addicted to cane sauce. So, that's helped me out, to get out of my comfort zone. But the way Sam does it, he has a different approach of doing it, as he was saying. He has a way of adapting. So people with disabilities, especially autism, we don't like change. We are more routine-based individuals. So when we get thrown out of our routine, especially when stuff comes up immediately, it's hard for us to adapt to that change. But Sam has an approach to where it makes it more adaptable to where the change, it helps us more comfortable.
And the adapting that we do is because I've had to overcome my own disability of cerebral palsy by the grace of God. But, Tyler's got to be willing to try the change. And I think it took a little bit of a trust time in building his confidence that I was out there to help him instead of changing his routine. My whole focus is to help him look at different things he can do, explore different options. He never did want to try. I kept trying to say Walmart has a pretty good chicken strips. And then one day I think his mom tried it. Now he loves Walmart's chicken strips. So we throw out conversation, but he also did a lot of the heavy lifting, which when I say heavy lifting, I mean he did the work. But his mom and dad helped him a great deal to get out of his comfort zone. I believe now Tyler's been downstairs living on his own for almost 6 to 8 months, and that was a challenge to get him to do that, to get him to move from upstairs to downstairs. And part of the situation was he didn't want that change, but we slowly started moving him down, and I think one day he surprised me and said, I'm downstairs.
That is true. So for me, that was kind of a hard change, but I was able to do it step by step. First, I started with moving like some of my memorabilia down, and then started to move some other stuff down. And now it's like my little hangout spot now. I have my own living room, my own restroom and bedroom. So it's a really nice change. And plus, I like to mention I sleep better down there because it's darker, so I get better sleep down there than I would normally upstairs because the sunlight comes through upstairs. So it's a really nice change.
Hey, Tyler, I got a question for you.
Yes.
What was, why in the, before you started moving your memorabilia and when we started talking about moving you downstairs, what was your thought or what scared you about moving downstairs?
Um, it might have been a little bit of the logistics, but also maybe just it's kind of new and maybe it's just the whole logistics part of it and how I was going to move that stuff down.
Now that you've done it, what do you think was the step that got you to be confident enough to do it?
Well, it's once you put the plan into motion, I think. Once I did like one little thing, it's confidence building step by step. So, what I mean by that is like once I started moving one thing down, okay, I'm getting a little bit more comfortable each day step by step. And eventually it just all came together.
So what you're saying is it's like a little baby learning to walk and take little baby steps and they fall and then they get up and try again. And that's what this is all about. You got to keep trying by the grace of God. God didn't make us not to have a purpose and a plan to live a better life. It's just we have to take the time to explore what he wants us to do and explore what works for us. And, you know, you have parents that you're very blessed, Tyler, that were very enthusiastic about the change and wanting you to get better. And I remember the first time we went to Walmart and you had to get change. You weren't sure how to do that. You weren't sure how to deal with the bank. Those are the things that a life coach should do. And last time we talked, Tyler made the statement of there's a difference between a job coach and a life coach. And I'll let Tyler elaborate on that difference.
So the difference is a job coach helps you with overall in life. They could help you in your job too, but they're there to more help you in your overall life. Your job coach helps you with your job specifically, like your job related tasks, how to interact with your boss, and they help you adapt with your job. And a life coach helps you with everyday life, like getting up, they give you tips on how to do daily life chores. Like, for example, so when I used to do my laundry, I was very disorganized when I did the process. But Sam has taught me to use two laundry baskets instead of one and divide and conquer by dividing your clothes into two different categories. That way you don't overload the laundry machines and they don't break. So, because if they break, you're out of luck and then you have to go to like a laundromat and that can be a pain in the butt. So, it's been a helpful change because now I can do my laundry more efficiently than whereas before I was very disorganized.
And now he does not. The other thing that we brought into play about the laundry was he used to wait till the last second. Now he plans ahead to have his work shirt done and ready to go so he can be ready for work. And we always plan. The other thing as a life coach that we've tried to have a discussion about is how to plan things through or think them through and don't let your anxiety overtake it with a negative thought.
That is exactly right because you got to be motivated and you need positivity. And you always got to think things through. That's what Sam has always taught me. Again, think things through. So, like with my laundry, I always have my work shirt prepared and ready to go 3 days or 2 days ahead versus like at the last minute, like Sam said. So it's good because then I'm not panicking when I have to get ready for work.
You know, part of this podcast, folks, is to reach out and to help other people with autism, Down syndrome, or even cerebral palsy like I have. We are not here to create likes and more likes, but if you know someone that can benefit from this podcast, please reach out to us. I believe Tyler can tell you how to do that because that's not my cup of tea. Tyler knows more about it than I do. And for those of you who know me, this is really me stepping out of my comfort zone and trusting Tyler to know what he's doing, because you ought to see all the stuff he's dealt with on the technology side that I wouldn't have never had the ability or the brains to do. But he's given me the courage to sit next to him and do this podcast with him. So if you have comments or questions, please, Tyler, can you tell them how to do that?
Yes, I will. So when I upload this to YouTube, I'm going to upload it to my channel, and then I'm going to have the comments. And under the video, there will be like a comment section. So there you can put your comments there. And when I look at the YouTube video, I can read them, and I will relate. If I can't answer your questions, I'll relate to Sam, and Sam can, if he doesn't know the answers, he'll certainly try to find a connection to those answers.
And we'll try to connect you to the right person or the right resource to help you. We will not turn a deaf ear or a blind eye to anybody's particular needs. Tyler, what is the name of your channel?
It is T-Man Variety Podcast is the channel on YouTube. That's where I'll be uploading all these videos of the podcast too.
And also, you have to realize that Tyler and I started out very, very slowly. He does work now at the YMCA at Chesterfield. He has a paying job. We have a goal, hopefully this summer, of trying to get another job at Schnucks, Durberg, or a grocery store, because he's very proficient at doing the shopping and packing. So we're going to try to do an application and do that. That's our next long-term goal, and see where it goes. And we'll discuss more about, he went to Schnucks on my son's Tyler. I have two children, Stephen and Tyler, and I have two grandchildren. And my older boy, Tyler, recommended that if Tyler likes a hamburger, he needs to try the Schnucks. Tyler, where is that Schnucks that we went to?
It's Schnucks and Schnucks on De Pere. They have really an amazing hamburger. It was delicious. It was one of the best burgers I've ever had. It was like a fancy restaurant burger. It was really good.
And the staff there was very, very kind, very, very accommodating to get what we need and to help us figure out what we needed. So I just take my hat off to that. They don't pay us anything. They don't sponsor anything. That was just a heartfelt thank you for them. And Tyler tried that hamburger, and he really liked it. Again, he reached out of his comfort zone, changed his routine, and trusted the recommendation. Our next goal is to have him try the pizza, but we'll see.
Yes, we'll see. Another thing, so yesterday my mom at Walmart, she got these General Tso boneless wings, and I tried one, and it was really good. We both had them like as an appetizer. So that was another thing I've tried recently, and that's new. So then that was really good.
So Tyler, you were starting to try more things just on somebody's recommendation to you, and you're not afraid to try it.
Right, because I was only going to try one to see if I like it, because it's like, what do I really have to lose? If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I try and I like it, so be it.
Well, what you realized is fear can paralyze you, and the Bible says that God didn't give us the spirit of fear and intimidation and being weak. He wants us to do what He set out the purpose for us to do in our life, for everybody's life, be it if you're autistic, have cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, or even high anxiety.
That is correct. Fear can often, quote unquote, hold you prisoner. What I mean by that is if you don't try something, you're always going to live in the corner of fear. And as long as you can get some confidence, some courage, and just get some motivation along the way, you can overcome fear. Fear is kind of the way of the negative, and it's really a certain thing trying to force you to keep you from doing something.
And I call it, and and I've said this to Tyler many a times. I said, quit hitting the rewind tape on the cassette tape that says you can't do this, or you won't be able to do this. And sometimes we play that cassette tape in our head, and we believe that we can't do it. But yet, if you try, now last week we failed, or I failed miserably on the microphone, and people could not hear me. So I'm hoping this week it's a little bit better, but we learned from that mistake, and we didn't have fear, and we came back at it.
Yeah, you learn. You kind of take a mistake is meant to be learned from, and as long as you're learning from your mistakes, you're doing really good on handling your mistake. And so you look back and say, okay, how can I improve on this? What can I do going forward to be better? As long as you do that, you're doing good.
You know, the next thing I want him to try is maybe having some other guests come on, like his mom and dad, to tell you know, how they helped him as he was growing up. Tyler, how old are you?
I am 27.
27 years young compared to this old man sitting next to him. I'm a lot older than he is, but you know, sometimes when you get older, you learn from your past experiences, and that's how we're supposed to help. Teach them what to do, tell them you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. And I will tell you, Tyler is, when we ride together now, he's more my assistant when we drive the car. He answers, he helps make phone calls, he answers texts for me. So he's come a long way in helping me along the way as well. And this is a joint project that we're here to help each other. And I hope that continues for a long time.
I hope so too, because Sam has been probably one of the best things that's happened with me, and because before I was always stagnant. Before Sam, I was stagnant around the house. I may have had one job, but I always I was kind of lazy, if that makes any sense, and kind of lazy and like unmotivated a little bit, just laying around. And laying around is good for maybe for like a period of time, but not for a long time. You obviously, it's healthy to have something to do and to go out and help. And going out and helping people is awesome because then you're feeling motivated.
Hey, Tyler, can you tell them what you do at the food bank up at Loaves and Fishes, helping helping them with the food boxes? Can you give them a description of what you do every Monday when we get there?
Absolutely. So at Loaves and Fishes, there's a truck that brings the food in, and we have to unload the truck, and the truck has boxes of food. So we take the boxes of food. So for example, the other day we had to do 27 boxes when I was there, and we had to fill all 27 boxes up with food, and then we'll hand out the food, and they have 3 lines at different times for people to pick up the food.
You
And
know what the times are, Tyler?
first time is 12:30, next one's 1, and the next one's 1:30.
Correct. And also, what you have to realize is we not only give them a box of food, but these people come, this box has to be filled to the brim because they're only coming, I think, Tyler, once a week. Is that correct?
That is correct, once a week.
So we have to make sure that they've got enough food for a week. And it could be feeding a family of 2, a family of 1, or a family of 5. We don't know who and what it's doing. But how does that make you, when you first started, Tyler, were you scared? Were you not sure? Now, what do you think about it?
So at first I was nervous on how I was going to do everything, but now since I've done it for a while, it's pretty cool, and now I get the routine down, and it's routine because we do the boxes, and I've done the pallet jack to carry stuff out. I've never done a pallet jack or done any of that, but now I am confident I can do it on my own, and I've done it on my own before, like taking out the recycling and the trash, and it's really cool.
And what he's not telling you is that he also helps train other volunteers. Tyler, you want to elaborate on the people that come in and don't know what they're doing, how you show them and kind of help them along?
So sometimes they'll have like groups of volunteers from different organizations come in. and sometimes they have other people that need community service hours for whatever reason. And so when they're brand new, we like to show them by example. We'll point out to them, and then we'll actually show them how to do it, and then it just guides them along as they work there.
And what he's also not telling you is, I remember prompting him a couple times when we have a little bit of downtime. It doesn't happen often, but they play a little game called Pig. I think it's a basketball game.
Yes.
And I was prompting Tyler to play with them one time, and I think he did play, and you knocked a couple people out, I think.
Yes, I have. I did some shots that I've never done before, and I got really confident with that. Sam told me to try some other shots, and so again, I was getting out of my comfort zone, and it worked.
If you don't try something, you don't know if you failed or if you like it or don't like it. We're not telling you to do things that you are uncomfortable with, but you will never know what you like and what you don't like if you don't try. And that's the thrust of this podcast. And maybe sometimes a life coach is what you need, because I think Tyler knows no matter what I tell him to try, I'm not going to leave him in the lurch or leave him to get hurt or cause him to fail intentionally, because my job is to support him and lift him up.
That is correct. So Sam's a life coach, and I always got him. I know he's somebody I can reach out to if I need help with something, because he's always going to give me good advice and strong, faithful wisdom.
Thank you. Now I'm sure my kids that I raised would speak a little differently of that, but they're grown adults now, though.
Yeah.
But I am privileged and honored to have Tyler as a friend. It's not really, I don't look at this relationship as a client business relationship. When we do this podcast, it is all volunteer. We're not looking to make money. We're not looking to get likes. We are just trying to help somebody else get through their day with what they're having to deal with. And again, we thank Tyler's parents for letting us use their living room and interrupting their house and intruding their space.
Yeah. Thankful for my parents for allowing me to have the opportunity to do this. Also, again, like Sam was saying, the whole emphasis of this podcast is really to reach out and help as many people as they can. As if it's an individual with a disability, if it's a parents with a disability, as many people as we can help is really the mission of this podcast.
And you can achieve whatever God wants you to achieve in your life if you just keep trying. Mistakes are not always bad. As long as you learn, you're okay. And again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for listening. And if you could recommend this podcast to somebody else, what is the podcast name again, Tyler?
It is called T-Man Variety Podcast.
And where is it? Where can they see this or hear this podcast?
On YouTube. Just look for the T-Man Variety Podcast and look for the channel. It will have an orange T on the channel when you look at the channel.
All right. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or you hear something on this podcast that is not correct, please reach out to us and correct us and help us out, because we don't know what we're doing. We're just coming
Thank you for listening.
Thank you
to the
for
T-Man
tuning
Variety
in to
Podcast.
the T-Man Variety
Catch us
Podcast.
next time.
You can catch us on YouTube and iTunes.